You may be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, good morning. We are gathered here today for a case that carries within both legal and emotional weight, and the murder of young Sarah Payne. It is a matter that shocked a nation and touched the heart of many. As this trial proceeds, I must remind everyone present, including the jury, witnesses, members of the public, that is in the courtroom. This place is a place of law, not emotion. It's our duty to uphold justice with fairness and integrity. The prosecution will present its evidence and the defense will have opportunity to challenge it. Prosecutioner, would you like to present your case?
Good morning, members of the jury. My name is Timothy Lawndale and I am the prosecutioner in this case. On the 1st of July 2000, Sarah Payne was abducted and murdered by Roy Whiting. The prosecution will call the witnesses Lee Payne, who is said to have seen Roy Whiting the day of the abduction. We have eyewitnesses' testimonies, forensic evidence and surveillance footage to help prove the guilt of Roy Whiting.
Thank you. Defense, would you like to present your case? Okay, thank you. Prosecutioner, would you like
Sorry.
to call your first witnesses? Ready?
No way. Alright.
Defense, would you like to present your case?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I stand before you today representing Roy Whiting, who faces serious accusations, the abduction and murder of a young child. I fully understand the emotional weight of this case. The defence, the death of Sarah Payne has devastated her family, and the pain is something no family should endure. It is natural to feel outrage, sorrow and desire for justice. But members of the jury, your duty is clear. You are tasked with deciding this case based solely on the evidence presented, without prejudice or emotion. The prosecution will present a compelling narrative, but it is important to remember that their case is not flawless. You will hear testimony that may seem damning, but we must approach the evidence with caution. There are gaps in the prosecution's timeline, there are questions about forensic evidence, and there are contradictions in witness statements. We will point out where the evidence does not match the allegations. We ask you to remember that Roy Whiting is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and it is the prosecution's duty to prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. It is not up to the defence to prove Mr. Whiting's innocent, but rather to show you that evidence does not conclusively establish his guilt. Throughout this trial, we will highlight the inconsistencies in the prosecution's case, and we will show you there is reasonable doubt. At the end of this trial, we ask for you to examine the facts carefully and consider whether you can say beyond all reasonable doubt that Roy Whiting is guilty of this crime. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Prosecutioner, would you like to call your first witness?
We would like to call Lee Payne to the stand as a witness in defence of the prosecution in the trial of Sarah Payne.
Yep.
On the day of Sarah Payne's disappearance, I saw a scruffy-looking man with yellowish teeth driving through Kingston Road on the evening that Sarah Payne went missing.
Thank you.
I would like the jury to consider the forensic evidence of Sarah Payne's hair and DNA recovered from the back of Roy Whiting's van when considering your verdict.
Thank you. Defense, would you like to call your first witnesses? Thank you.
I, Dr. Emily Rutherford, have been asked to provide expert testimony in the defence of the accused, who has been charged with the abduction murder of Sarah Payne. I have been practicing forensic psychologist for over 15 years, specialising in criminal behaviour, offender profiling and physiological assessment of suspects. In preparation for this statement, I've reviewed the available case files, including statements from law enforcement officers, evidence reports, and the defendant's personal history. I've also conducted multiple interviews with Sunling to evaluate his psychological state and his capacity for committing the alleged crime.
Thank you. Okay. Members of the jury, we have heard all the evidence from the prosecutioner and the defense. So now, prosecutioner, would you like to please offer your closing statement?
At the conclusion of the case, we would like you to find the defendant's client is guilty. The state has met its burden of proof, and we would ask for a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
Thank you. Defense, would you like to please offer your closing statement?
Members of the jury, you have listened to the days of evidence, you've heard from witnesses, seen exhibits, and listened carefully to arguments from both of the prosecution and defence. Now the time has come for you to judge, not on suspicion, not on emotion, but on evidence presented before you. The prosecution wants you to believe my client is guilty, but look closely, their case is not on certainty, but on assumption. The eyewitness gave conflicting accounts. The forensic evidence is inconclusive and no motive has been firmly established. My client, Mr. Whiting, has maintained his innocence from the very beginning. He gave a statement voluntarily, cooperated fully with the police and has nothing to hide. Ask yourselves, is that the behaviour of a guilty man? Let me remind you of your duty. The burden of proof lies entirely with the prosecution. They must prove guilty beyond reasonable doubt. If even one element of this case causes you to hesitate, one piece of missing evidence, one conviction, one uncertainty, then your duty is clear. You must find Mr. Whiting not guilty. Justice is not about punishing someone, it's about punishing the right person. And in this case, that person is not Mr. Whiting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You may leave the court, please. Okay. Members of the jury, the time has now come. You have all heard all the evidence, the argument from both the prosecutioner and the defense, and my direction on the law. The law is clear. The burden of proof rests with the prosecutioner. Teacher, have you reached a majority verdict?
As the jury, we would like to give the verdict of the jury to find that the defendant is guilty.
Thank you. I will now retire to consider consider the sentencing available to me and the sentencing to Royal Whiting to life imprisonment for the abduction and murder of Sarah Payne. Thank you.